Back in May of this year, Jersey Fest 2024 took place at White Eagle Hall in Jersey City. It was produced by Greetings from the Garden State. And this morning, we're bringing in a brand new feature on Jersey Magazine. It's Mike Ham, who is one of the producers of Greetings of the Garden State. Mike, good morning and welcome to WDHA and Jersey Magazine.
Jim, it's so great to be back with you. I remember when we talked about Jersey Fest originally, it was still something that had not happened yet, and I was super stressed, hadn't slept in weeks. And now that it's done, we're very proud of what we were able to do, and everyone had a great time. The bands killed it. It was amazing.
Yeah, how did the event go?
It was awesome. For our first ever event putting on something like this, we had almost 350 people come out, which was amazing. All five bands, Natalie Farrell, Surfing for Daisy, Reese Van Riper, Jackson Pines, and the Vaughns, all were amazing on stage and really set the tone for a great night. We had Rutt out there doing their first ever pop up in 96 years of being a business. Johnny Porkroll brought the food truck up and was selling Taylor ham, egg, and cheese sandwiches. He's going to hate that I said Taylor ham, egg, and cheese. But it's fine. And yeah, everyone had a great time. It was a great night. The after party was a lot of fun for the people that were lucky enough to get out there. But we already have a date booked for 2025 for Jersey Fest at White Eagle. We're not ready to announce that yet, but it's gonna be next level once we get to the next one.
What is your New Jersey story?
So I grew up in Pequannock, New Jersey. That's where I'm originally from. Moved to Sparta right before high school. Went to Pope John up in Sparta. Really have lived here my entire life, and I always like to say that growing up here, I think it gives you like a little bit of an edge over people that come from other parts of the country. You grow up a little bit tougher. You grow up a little bit more worldly because you're growing up around people that are different than you for in a lot of ways. But also you have that similar connection because you share a home, so to speak. So did that, went to TCNJ. That's where I graduated from college. And then kind of went on a whole season of lives since then. Coached college baseball for 5 years at TCNJ and some other schools. Then eventually came back to Jersey, was selling title insurance for about 6 years. And then in October 2021, I had been podcasting at that point for I want to say almost 2 years. And I had this itch and this idea to kind of put together a show that highlights the people, places, and stories that are shaping New Jersey. We like to call it the heart of Jersey pride. And that's kind of how Greetings from the Garden State was born. And we've been doing a lot of stuff kind of, tacked on to that, like Jersey Fest and some other things that we're doing since then.
I've been in New Jersey for quite a while, but originally a New York City native. And then we lived
Yeah.
outside of Philadelphia for a while. And we would come back out to Queens or Long Island to visit family. And invariably, somebody would say something along the lines of, "Oh, you had to come through New Jersey, huh? Pretty smelly ride over, huh?"
Yeah, I mean that's the thing. Like I think there's a lot of and we've talked about this a lot on this show. Like when people come through Jersey, they always wind up going through like they land in New York Airport and they drive right to New York City or wherever they're going and they wind up on the Turnpike or one of those areas that while it's not the most beautiful part of our state, there is certainly an economic viability to that part of the state. But also you start really expanding and seeing what else the state has to offer. And I'm lucky enough that for my show, I get to drive around and travel. Like I was in Asbury Park yesterday. At the time of this recording, I was in Asbury Park recording with an artist, actually Natalie, who opened Jersey Fest. We've been to AC, we've been to Newark, we've been to Wildwood, Mawa, Jersey City, out west. We've been down to Camden even. So we've really kind of tried to cover as much of the state as we possibly can. And there's some great little pockets all over the place. And you could do all of it in a day, which is the cool part about it.
I have some friends who live on Long Island in Nassau County, and
Yeah.
their knowledge of New Jersey very limited. They knew Asbury Park,
Yep.
they knew the Jersey Shore television show, and
Yeah.
they went
Right.
out and they stayed in Lake Apatcong. And I
Okay.
remember talking to her afterwards, and she said, "I had no idea,
Yeah.
no idea."
Yeah. Well, I remember my 21st birthday, we had some friends from college come up. We just like did it at my parents' house up in Sparta. And one of my buddies is from Staten Island. And he was like, he would drive from Staten Island to Trenton essentially to go to school. So that's what he saw. And then he came out to Sussex County and was like, this is still New Jersey. Like I'm not in Pennsylvania yet. I'm like, well, you almost are, but you're not. Yeah, and mountains, beaches, cities. I mean, we got it. We got it all here.
Yeah, the diversity is amazing. Where I am
Yeah.
in Morris County, if I go 20 minutes east, I'm in Newark. If
Yep.
I go 20 minutes west, I am in farm and horse country. And 20 minutes on either way, Mike, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah, exactly. That's the cool thing. Like I talk about it all the time. You could do everything you want to do. You could hit all those places and do it in like a day's drive, like make a little day trip out of it. Go to the beach, go for a hike up in the mountains, the hills, whatever you want to call them. Go into Jersey City or Newark or one of these places for some of the best food you'll ever have in your entire life. And like I said, you could do all that in a day and just a couple hours in the car.
You mentioned this guy just a few minutes ago, Johnny Porkroll, and you made a comment regarding Taylor ham. So I assume that's where you lean on this Taylor ham versus pork roll.
So I understand the argument of the pork roll people, but I grew up saying Taylor ham, so I have to stay true to my guns and how my father raised me, so to speak. So like when Johnny explains it to me, I totally get it. I understand, but I'm like, I'll take a Taylor ham, mac and cheese, and then he kicks me out. But it's that's where I'm leaning. And I'm sure you as not an original New Jerseyan, but someone who's lived, I'm sure, in North Jersey for a long time. I feel like that's where you're going to lean yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. Is it
Yeah.
sauce or gravy?
I say sauce. I think people that say gravy, I just like, I don't understand that. Gravy to me is like brown gravy on Thanksgiving, not red gravy on spaghetti or wherever you're putting it. But that's it just doesn't compute in my brain.
My wife's maiden name was Rizzuto, and I'm told that if it has meat in it, it's gravy.
Okay.
So
All
that's
right.
where
All right.
that's where I'm going from.
Yeah, my last name's Ham, so I don't really get. I mean, all my grandparents are three of them are full-blooded Italians, but they say sauce, and that's my grandma's right off the boat, so she says sauce. That's I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go there.
So this week on Greetings from the Garden State, what are you guys talking about?
So we're going to talk about Rutt's Hut. We mentioned them kind of in our outset part of this little segment that we're doing. Rutt's Hut been in business for 96 years. We had a chance to sit down with Billy Chrysofinis, who's part of the family that owns Rutt's Hut now. And if you've been to Rutt's Hut, invariably you've seen Billy. He's in his black collared shirt, apron, the whole deal. We recorded it on the kind of like the diner side of with the counters on that side of Rutt's Hut. I usually wind up on the bar side of Rutt's Hut because there's nothing like a cold high life and a couple dogs. But we were on the other side, recorded it there, and it was great. I mean, it was really cool to learn the story of like Abe Rutt, who started the business back in 1928. The way that they you order a hot dog and the speed with which they get that hot dog to you is exactly the same way that they've done it for 96 years. So the way that Abe Rutt did it, like Billy said, if they ever write a book on fast food, Abe Rutt should be in the book because he basically, invented it almost. So just to learn a little bit more about that and, talking about their different menu offerings because everyone knows a Ripper. But to know that they have roast duck, rice pudding, breakfast, all sorts of stuff too. It's a really cool place. And to know that there's places like that that exist in New Jersey kind of is a fun part of what I do and being able to kind of experience them, not just eating the food there, but kind of hearing the stories behind it.
I can't wait. I can't wait. Mike Ham is the host and creator of Greetings from the Garden State, and you can check it out online at greetingsfromthegardenstate.com. Well, Mike, welcome once again to Jersey Magazine. Looking forward to speaking with you each week.
Thanks, Jim. I really appreciate you having me, and we'll see you next week.